All right, here we go. So I have to clean up. Here we go, troops. Let me do a little wrap up and then we'll go. And I had a lady online call in because I skipped your question. Yes, I did. I skipped your question. Not just once. She put it up several times. I kept skipping it because I really didn't want to have to answer this question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm out of my jacket. It's getting hotter. And these people have picked on me unmercifully this afternoon. So the question is, if the seller is going to do a concession, $1,500 for carpet or something like that, can I actually put that in the comments section of the MLS? Not the one that's published to the world, but in the comments.
Like
where
remarks,
other,
comments.
yeah,
Remarks.
remarks to where only agents see. All right, and here's my answer.
We're gonna write it down and record it. I'm recording it.
Yeah, I know, we're recording anyway. The answer is yes, but if it's a $1,500 carpet allowance, sure. And it says $1,500 carpet allowance, sure. And the pictures and the carpet's nasty and all that. If it's a $15,000 carpet allowance, no. Or an $18,000 buyer to use however they want to fee, no. Yeah, you can buy a $15,000 refrigerator allowance, no. So the reason I'm reluctant to answer it is we will have to investigate it. If your seller's concession to the buyer in the MLS seems to be outrageous, we're gonna hammer that listing. And we're gonna come and investigate it. But if it's $1,500 carpet allowance, sure, piece of cake. We've always done that. We'll always do that. And I hope I answered your question. If not, put it in the chat. I promise. Yeah, you can call me or call Debbie McFadden tomorrow. She'll be back in the office. But I apologize for not answering your question, but I skipped you several times. Yes, I did. What would be the violation? Because they're hiding a buyer's agent commission and calling it a concession.
So they said use as you choose.
Yeah, if they say seller concession, use as you choose, $2,000. Okay, as long as the mortgage company will allow that, we're probably good.
So as long as it's sensible.
As long as it's sensible, but if it pops up at 20,000, yeah, we're gonna have action.
Well, even as a lender, if that popped up.
Yeah, because the sellers are not gonna, I mean, the lenders are just not gonna allow. So.
Do you think if it was in like a percentage, like?
We're not playing percentages. And if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and acts like a duck, we're gonna call it a duck.
Say if it was in the percentages of like the loan limits for, like VA's 4%, FHA, I think it's like 6%. So if it was within that percentage ratio.
This is why I didn't want to answer this question, because now y'all are trying to figure how to work around the system. And I'm telling you, don't do it. I mean, you're welcome to try, but it's $1,000 fine for first offense and you will be expelled from the MLS second offense.
Well, even as a lender, when it says, and
Permanent.
it says.
Yeah, we ain't letting you back in.
No, that's what we get proof of the invoice of the permit.
All right, so I gotta wrap up.
Yeah.
Questions were this on the break. The reason that we've given you the reasons the buyer should pay and shouldn't pay is the next time you sit down with a buyer, you should take them through this scenario.
Yeah.
Let me explain to you all the reasons why you should not pay me. And let me take you through all the reasons why you should. Oh, yeah. And the reason that we did this list, the seller side, is this becomes your new listing presentation. Let me explain, Mr. and Ms. Seller, why you should not pay the buyer's agents. These are all the reasons. And here are the reasons that you should pay the buyer's agent. And you get to choose. So part of my listing presentation was always this, Mr. and Ms. Seller, it's my job to give you all the information that you will need to make all the right decisions about your house. I'm not gonna make the decision for you. But my job is to provide you the right information. Your job is to make all the decisions. And this is the same way with a buyer. Mr. and Ms. Buyer, it's not my job to decide what house you're gonna buy. It's my job to provide you all the information that you will need to correctly make the right decision for your family.
I can come home and explain that to my husband. That's exactly what I needed to say.
How big is it?
He's ready.
Come home and explain that to your husband? Oh, no. Not if he's bigger than I am. Now, let me take you into some research and we'll close this up. This is research from the National Association of Realtors. Why do buyers hire you and why do sellers hire? Well, yeah. How many of you change the oil in your own vehicle? I got 1, 2, 3. It's simple. I work in the gas station. You take one screw out of the bottom of your car, the oil pours out. You put the screw back in and pour it back in.
Not my lane.
Not yours?
No, not my lane. Not mine.
Yes, not my monkey. It's not, I ain't doing that.
Right.
I work in the gas station. It's greasy. It's nasty.
Because I want to pay for
Look,
it.
America is we pay people to bring fast food to our homes.
I do not.
Have you lost your mind?
It is not ridiculous when you have 5 teenagers. at home.
Wait a minute.
I thought you got trouble.
We pay people to organize our closets.
Yes. Yes.
Have you lost your
No,
mind?
absolutely not.
Now, let's take a look at the research on next page. And we got 5 minutes and we're gone.
Okay.
What do sellers want most from real estate agents? The National Association of Realtors does a research. It's called the Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers. It's in the Dropbox folder that we've given to everybody online. We give it to everybody here in the classroom. It's a 180-page document we ask every year. They send out 150,000 surveys to people who have bought and sold. This is not like a Zillow survey where they do it online and kids can fill it out, and people that have never bought. These are people who actually bought and sold in the first 6 months of the year. They start tabulating in June. They'll produce it in November of every year. And this is what they said. Number one, help us price the home.
I can do that myself on Zillow if you ask any of them.
Correctly. The key word is correctly. Help us price the home correctly. So we are on Rayford Road. Let's drive that way down Rayford Road. As you go down this hill, if you turn left, you're in one market. If you turn right, you're in a completely different world. And the prices are dramatically different.
Right.
There's not a town, a city, anywhere. You can go to Rayford, you can go to Hope Mills, you can go anywhere in this United States. Local market expertise is the key to your success, knowing your market. Here's number two, help the seller market the home to potential buyers. So your marketing needs to be part of your presentation. How many of you have a 21-point marketing program that you give to every seller? And you gotta number your marketing pieces. And you're not thinking this way. You're saying, well, doesn't everybody put a lockbox on it? Well, yeah. Doesn't everybody put a sign? Yeah. But if you make a list of these are the things we do to market your home, and you number the list, then you have a 21-point marketing program or a 42-point marketing program. And if you have a 21-point marketing program and I've got a 27 mark, I've got to be better. So keep up with your numbers. Now, in the Dropbox folder, there's this document, which is completely worthless, but it'll get you started. It comes from the National Association of Realtors. It's 179 ways that agents help the sellers. Well, you need to go through this because you're doing a lot of this, and that becomes part of your marketing program. Oh, by the way, there's 105 things that we do for the buyers. Why we do less for the buyers and the sellers? I have no earthly idea.
Will you get that from?
This is from the National Association of Realtors. It's in the Dropbox folder online. For our people at home, it's in this Dropbox folder in the chat box, and y'all are all gonna get an email, because we're gonna remind Emily to do that.
Yay.
Here's the third thing they want, and that is to help sell my home in a specific time. Boom. And here's where most realtors fall apart, because your CMA will never tell you what time frame it takes to sell this property, but absorption rate will.
Yeah.
Because once you understand the supply and demand of the market, you can predict how long it'll take to sell a $800,000 house in this marketplace, or a $200,000 house in this marketplace. So, I'm trying to read and keep up and do all this at the same time. Driving me nuts.
You'll figure it out when you get out the door.
Price homes, correct. These people are picking on me. This is what the seller wants. This needs to become this, plus the reasons they should pay you becomes your new presentation. You with me? Now, look at this. Turn the page. And on the back, oh, let me go to the bottom of that page. The most important factors in choosing a real estate agent by level of service. Reputation is the biggest thing. What is reputation? Other people's opinion of you. If nobody out there is talking about you, you got no reputation. Number two, agent is honest and trustworthy, 21%. Agent is a friend or a family member. You need more friends or family members. Agent is knowledge of the neighborhood. Agent is caring and personality. How would I learn about all these items? Only through a relationship. We're back to where we started. Oh, guess what? Only 5% of sellers picked you because of your fee. Only 5% out of 150,000 people surveyed, only 5% said, oh, because of their fee. And that correlates exactly with the mentality of the US population. 5% of the US population are paying the lowest fee for everything. Turn the page. What do buyers want from the real estate agents? Help finding the right home to purchase. Half of the buyers said, I need help finding the right home. How many of you have ever met a buyer that said, oh, we want to live over here, and they ended up buying across town a completely different house because they didn't understand the market? Help the buyer negotiate. Negotiate is huge, and paperwork is huge. I mean, how big is your contract now? 30 pages with addendums and,
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It would take a New York lawyer to read all that. Actually, lawyers did create all that. Comparable homes, determining how much I can afford. People don't understand. Arrange and help financing. Teach me about the neighborhoods. All that sort of stuff. How is the real estate agent compensated? This is in your Dropbox. This is such a cool thing. 52% of sales last year, the commission was paid by the seller. 52%,
Wow.
not 100%, 52%. 25%, the buyer already paid their own agent.
Oh, wow.
That was in.
This was in the nation,
Oh,
in the
okay.
United States, where only 18 states have buyer's agency. 25% of the buyers paid their agent last year anyway.
I can see that in Washington or.
Well, you can see it around here.
Yeah.
It happens here. I had an agent in here, that got on a for sale by owner with her buyer, and they refused to pay, and her buyer said, I'll pay you. Puts that right there and told that
Oh,
story.
that's good.
Morgan County does.
More county, sure. Well, yeah. 25% of the sales, 25% of the sales last year, the buyer paid their fee already. You're not climbing up a big hill.
Hmm.
3 things to remember. Buyers want you to negotiate. So how good are you at negotiating?
Make it happen.
So I'll tell you this negotiating story, and then we'll all go home. How about that? Because that's the key thing.
I thought you were gonna tell us how to market, this idea.
That's what we've done all day here.
We did like, if you want to put a spiel on for somebody, can you show us an example how you would just, you know?
That's what that.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get it when I'm on my way home now.
Like what we did in.
I'll get it, but I like to, I'm slow. So
Ah. You're not slow. It's gotta soak in a while. So Jennifer's asked a question that's a great question, by the way. Will the agents be required to remove compensation on a listing currently live in the MLS? Nope. We will make that just vanish.
Oh.
On August the 1st, the whole MLS, they're gonna, somebody in the stratosphere out there is gonna click a button. And all those commissions are gonna go,
Even with the listing we already have up there?
even with the listings you already have. You do
What
not,
about the pending? If they haven't closed yet?
pendings, closed, everything is gonna vanish.
Every
All
time
right.
you log in the MLS, it's telling you that.
Yeah.
It's just gonna vanish.
I just say, no, we had to take it
So
down.
let me tell you about negotiating. I used to coach a company in Charlotte and had a young lady and we went through your values and you know, we had a group like this and we had been working on your value, and knowing the marketplace and knowing what your value is. And I came in once a month to do the session and I came in and she caught me at the door and she goes, "Oh, I just got to tell you, you're helping." I said, "What have I done?" And she said, "I got a call and they said, we want to sell our house. And what do you charge?" And she said, "I quoted my fee," and they went, "Will you take lifts?" And she said, "Well, no." And they hung up. And they called back the next day, same person, the same seller, and said, "We want to sell our house. We'd like for you to come." And she said, "Well, you already asked me about my fee and I'm not going to reduce it." He said, "Well, you will. But please come to the meeting." And she said, "I went reluctantly and I walked in the door and I said, I'm not reducing my fee." She said, "It was my opening statement. I'm not reducing my fee." And he said, "We'll see about that."
Yeah.
And they sat down, they got through in the middle of the presentation. He goes, "All right, so will you reduce your fee by X amount?" And she went, "No." And she said, "At this point, it's becoming a matter of principle." And he asked her 4 more times and then she gathered up her mess and put it in her case and started out the door. He said, "Where the heck are you going?" And she said, "I'm going home. You're not going to hire me." He said, "I've never said that." He said, "You're about to list my property and defend my sales price. And if you can't defend your own fee, I'm not going to hire you. I was testing you." And she was like, I said, "So did you get the listing?" She went, "Yeah, baby. Gotta defend your commission or you can't defend their sales price." Have y'all had fun at home? We played, what was our game here? Family Feud. And everybody's a winner at Family Feud. I have had a big time this afternoon. This is recorded. We'll probably put it up. This is probably the best one we've recorded. And y'all are the coolest audience, but none of you were on camera. Here, let me see if I can get you all on camera. Wave to the people at home. Wait a minute. Let me do this. Look at there. Oh, look at these gorgeous people. There we are. And tell them bye from the classroom. It's been a pleasure. Oh, y'all want to get a photo? Come to the front. We'll do a photo. And you people at home, stay on camera. Wow.
Was there a sign?
Was there a sign-in sheet? No.